we talked about this in the President's office, and we were actually discussing the committee when this invitation came. We hadn't elevated it to a presidential task force. We were thinking of a committee, but I think you have really brought our attention today to having a powerful committee within the President, led by the President's office or appointed by the President himself. I think the problems are numerous for us. One is the negligent driving. That is one of the major problems. The other is some of the vehicles that we use, like the three-wheelers, which don't meet up to the standards, the safety standards that are required. But how do you overcome that? It's not going to happen overnight. You can't stop three-wheelers overnight. So many people live off it. So many people also depend on it for transport. So until we are able to improve our economy and have a plan to graduate the three-wheelers to a safer vehicle, it's going to take time. Then we have the road conditions. We have very small roads. Even the highways are reasonably dangerous, because on the southern highway, there's regular hydroplaning when it rains. Because the water goes right across the 4 lanes when it rains hard. And again, the lanes are narrow as well, and there's no curb lane where you can pull over if you're having a breakdown or some issue where you're feeling sleepy, where you can stop for a little while and recover yourself. And there are no rest areas as such. Then we have a basic issue of the lack of awareness about our problems. So it's a matter of education. Also, the law and order issue also arises, and we were discussing that before the event started. The officers have issues of lack of equipment and technology available to them, so it's all things that we have to do. But if you wait for all of this to click into place, we're going to have more and more trouble on our hands. We will have to have a plan, a very short-term plan that starts immediately almost, then a medium, longer-term plan. So the committee that takes this task on will have a lot of things to consider. There'll be other matters to consider as well. We've just appointed a committee appointed by the President to develop the policy on vehicle imports. That is, can we have an open policy on imports, or should we go in for a scheme like in Singapore, where you have a certain number of permits that are issued each year for import of vehicles, and a similar number have to leave the country because of age or whatever, unsuitability on the roads. Then you have to consider electric versus the conventional diesel, petrol. Have to consider the economic situation going forward. Various matters like that, the road conditions. And I'm sure the road accidents will also play a role. Maybe these committees will have to talk to each other in coming up with each of those policies and action plans for the way forward. So there's a lot of work to be done, and there's no better time than now. We have a bankrupt country coming out of its bankruptcy. We are going through a tremendous amount of reforms on the economic front, on the governance front, as well as on fronts like reconciliation. We should take these matters also on. We have to look after our environment, keep our beaches clean, ensure there's no deforestation, illegal deforestation going on, illegal sand mining. So many challenges for us. But if we don't set about facing those challenges now and doing something to overcome them, the decline will be rapid. We might have an economy that comes up but cannot sustain because we've lost the beauty, and tourism we will not be the best place for tourism. We won't have the natural resources to keep moving on. There'll be shortage of water. We won't meet up to the green standards that the world is looking at. So let's work on this proposal. The President will appoint a committee, either one of them. And Professor Samath asked for an appointment with the President. We'll arrange that as well. But let's not wait for all of those things to happen. Let's get this moving with the committee soon. And really grateful to all of you who have been working on this for a long time. And I think it's time to really start getting a grip on it, to have an action plan to move forward, and also to action the action.